Hey everybody, welcome to Lisa's Art Room. Today I'm going to be working some more on my Wintertime Vignette. Y'all come in and say hi, let me know you're here. You're currently live on Facebook if you see the little red button at the top left. If not, you're catching a replay either here or on YouTube. Let me get you guys pulled up so I can see chat. Sorry, it paused for a second. I don't know why. I think it's okay. See if I can find the live. All right. Hopefully sound is okay. Yeah, let me know. I don't know why it paused for a second. Hey, Lori. It's always something. All right, let's see. One person, well, it says I have 3 people, but I don't know. They haven't said hi yet. So, sound okay, guys? Thank you, Lori. All right. So, we started working on the base. Okay. So, we've got the base started. It's got like this fake snow on one half, and then the other half's going to have this like the street, which will be cobblestone, and then our two basically our 2 buildings will be here, as well as they're like the backdrop and building. So that's where we're at. Today we're going to work on the embossing of the cobblestone and the bricks. I'm just going to go over it real quick. I've already done them because I had to varnish them and everything to make them color fast. So I'll talk about that. I'll go over it. I'll do, one live basically, and so you can see how to do it. Most of you probably know, but I will show it for those who don't. So that's the plan. And then once I finish that, I think I'm going to put the transfers on the back side of our boxes for the background. And then the wallpaper on the inside of the boxes on the other side. So that's the plan. There may be more, there may be less. I can't say for sure. So let's go ahead and pull the camera up top and we'll get started. Seems like there's a shadow. I think it's my iPad. I think it's okay. Oh, no. Sometimes it looks like there's a shadow to me, but it's just, you know how when you look at a screen from an angle, a really sharp angle, it shows like a shadow? I think that's what it's doing. So, I don't think there's really a shadow. Some of that's a little on the sharper side. That, snow mixture dries really, really, really hard. So if you do find you're getting, sharp spots when you're using it, you can just sand them down a little bit so you don't cut yourself. I don't know if I would or not, but I would rather be safe. So anything that feels too sharp, I'm just going to give it a little sand. I'm just going to do that now before I cut myself on it. Right. This is just like 320. Really fine. It is messy. If you're doing it a lot, you might want to wear a mask, but that was very little so. All right, so let's see. We'll start with the die cutting, or embossing rather, because that might be the longest. So I've got a couple of ways I did it. I think I like the cardstock method best. I have one I did with a watercolor paper, which looks cool, but my red colors are all not color fast. And most of the ones I have made might be in that actually, but they're not color fast until you varnish them. So it is an extra step. Whereas if you use a cardstock that's at least got a base red, and then colors that are like Liquitex acrylic ink or something that's color fast when it dries, that might be a better option for something like this that you're going to put snow over. If you're not putting snow over it, it probably doesn't matter, honestly, for a vignette. I don't think I had any issues like with my Halloween one, because I wasn't putting anything white over it that was going to soak up that color. So that's why these are my notes for colors I used, because I didn't want to forget, because I always forget what colors I used. So I'm just going to stick them there. And then this one is on just a brown cardstock. All these cardstocks I get from their recollections from Michaels. Not this is watercolor paper. But, you know, these base cardstocks. So I'm going to show you the one with these. I probably have shown this before with the watercolor, honestly, in one of my previous vignettes. I'm sure I have, but we'll do it again. So this dark brown is cardstock sprayed with desert sand. So that was actually not water fast. I should have sprayed it with like one of my Liquitex browns, but I grabbed my desert sand, which is a Ranger product, and it's definitely not water fast or watercolor fast. It's, you know, it's just like all the other distress ones. So what I'm talking about is this Dilutions ink spray. It's a great ink spray, but it's not color fast. So you have to do something to make it color fast. Whereas if I use my, where did I put that bottle? I moved it because I kept tripping on it. Oh, there it is. Whereas if you use like these acrylic, Liquitex acrylic inks, they are color fast when they dry. So like I should have used maybe this transparent burnt sienna, or I've got a burnt umber in here somewhere. One of those is fine, some sort of brown, but see, I've got a mixture of distress inks in here, and they are not color fast. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this. You don't want the extra step. It's up to you. It's doable. I think it's I think it's color fast enough after I put the varnish on it. I'm not 100% sure because I actually haven't tested one. I'm trying to figure out where I stuck them. They're in a little envelope that says varnished. Okay, they're there. All right, so these are the ones that I've already varnished. I don't want to get them mixed up. So these are the ones I've done, and they're all on the brown. This one's on watercolor, so I may not use that one. If these are enough, I probably won't use that one. It's a little bit different. It's not a lot different, you know, in the scheme of things. It probably wouldn't even be noticed. And then I've got, set this up there, and then I've got some bricks that I've done. All of these are on the watercolor paper, and they were not color fast. So I put a coat, and I only did one coat, I think. I used the satin, or did I use matte? I think I used matte. So I've got satin varnish in this Liquitex. You just brush it on, and then I've got matte here somewhere. There, matte. I think I used the matte because I didn't really want it super shiny, but it is still a little shiny, so maybe I used the satin. But I did put a coat of that on it. I tested it by spraying water on it, and it seems like it is, but there are some places on the back that I didn't coat, so that might be an issue. As long as they don't show on the front, I'm thinking they won't be an issue. We'll just hold our breath, you know. So these are ones I've already varnished. They should be color fast. I've got some little bits and pieces in there, which are creating an issue. They were my little test pieces. All right, so that's my color fast ones I've already done. We're going to do one just to show you, and the dies or the embossing folders are Sizzix. I've got 2 of them. These minis are not available. They do make these and still, but it's all in the larger size, which I think is, I'm going to say A5. It's basically almost like we'll say like 5 by 7-ish. I don't know what an A5 is exactly, but I think that's the size that they still have left. That doesn't mean you can't find these. Very often you will find these in other places, little smaller stores, whatever, online. I like this size because for my miniatures, the bricks are smaller. And when you go up to the next sizes up, the bricks are larger. So it doesn't really look the same on a small scale vignette. So I am glad I did grab these before they went away. Maybe they'll bring them back. I don't know. It's hard to say. Sometimes they don't because they didn't sell well enough. I don't know. One of these may still be available because they said they were using with those little villages that Tim Holtz did. I don't know. Anyway, so that's what I have. If you're interested, they're these two. You can just, here, oh, let's say numbers and all that. So just screenshot it if you need to. Okay. And I grab my inks. So what I did is I started with the base color, but I colored them a little bit first to make them a little bit darker. This one I've already embossed. I might just go ahead and use that one so I don't have to emboss twice. You guys, I'll emboss this one, and then I'll just use this one because it's already embossed. But it's the same technique, so for both. So we're going to need the brick, and we'll need this, and we're just going to color. So this one I've already colored a little bit, I can see, but I think I'm going to make it a little bit darker. I do like it a little bit darker to start with, and then you can put light paint over the top if you want to. And the bricks also look better when they have a little more dark. See how that's got some dark spots? I like that look. So I'm trying to do that. Like I said, I don't have a lot of reds. So that was the issue I was running into, is just not having a lot of reds in Colorfast stuff. I'm going to grab my splat box and grab a couple of colors. So what I think I used was this. I had this vivid red orange, which is kind of a bricky color. And then I think I just mixed it with one of these browns. So let's see, what was it? Did I write it down? Dried red cardstock. Burnt sienna is what I used, so we'll stick with that. The burnt sienna is a little more orangey than the burnt umber. Both will work, honestly, guys. It's just to darken the brick up. And I may throw a little burnt umber in there. We'll see. So I'll just go ahead and leave that out. And then for the brown one, the same thing. Just a couple of more browns in there to give it just a little bit of variety. So that's what I'm going to do. Did I say what I used on this brown? Yeah, see, this is the one I used, the desert sand, but we're not going to do that. We're going to use a Colorfast one. It might look slightly different, but probably not. So I have those. I have some mixed up, so I just put those out to show you. So this is the Liquitex and transparent burnt umber with a little bit of water just to thin it out. This is the vivid red orange and a little bit of burnt sienna, so we'll just use that. What's this one? This one is transparent burnt sienna. I'm just trying to grab the ones I already have mixed. That's vintage photo, that's not Colorfast. So I think those are the ones I have mixed right now. So we'll use those. And let's see if I can find a place to put this. Grab this big old embossing machine. Honestly, I hate getting out my embossing machine. It's too big. I bought the Big Shot because I figured I kind of needed the larger one, but honestly, it's just so darn big. I'm just going to use this one. This one's a little bit warped, but it's fine for embossing folders. And I don't want to mess up this one because it's nice and straight still. I've been using the Magic Mat. It's a little bit thicker than my straight up plastic one for some reason. It's not a lot. It doesn't take much to make a difference, guys. And I found that I wasn't getting a good impression. Oh, sorry. It's in a really awkward place to get to. I meant to put it out. All right, so got this. Let's see if I can. hopefully it's in screen enough. It's really big. Remove all these inks over here. Okay, so when you're embossing, if you have this one, you only use the last one. Okay, so you take off these two. One is, you know, this thick, and this one's really, really thin, but it really makes a difference. I don't know why. You wouldn't think it would, but it really does. So I don't put one underneath. It shows putting one under and one over, but these 3Ds are really, they made these snap off. They don't. They're just on there. And so you have to have this thing flapping out from the back. And I know they've made a new version of this. I don't have it, so I don't know much about it. But this is the one I have, so. All right, so all you do is, first you color it. We're just going to set that aside while we color. Actually, I should have just waited. Here. Let's see if I can get it out of camera. There's not much room here. All right, we got to color this first, so I forgot. And I'll go ahead and color this one a little bit, and then I'll have to dry it. You don't have to dry it like bone dry, because you do, like when you emboss on cardstock or watercolor paper, you want to have it just slightly wet. Not wet, but like just spritz it, because it makes it emboss better without tearing or putting a hole on it. And in my splat box, oh, there it is. So this is my splat box. It's literally just a box that I cut down myself. Tim Holtz sells splat boxes. Buy one of his, you know, just to support him. But I was broke, so I got this. And it's just a box. And I just throw paper towels in there because it makes it last longer, because after a while it'll get ruined and you'll have to make another one. So let's see, we'll just do some paper towels. It just helps absorb some of the water. I would highly, highly, highly suggest to wear gloves, because anytime you're messing with these colors, it is messy and you will be cleaning your hands for a week. So, not really, but it feels that way sometimes. So, put a glove on, 2 gloves ideally, because you'll forget and you'll need the other hand. That's what happens to me all the time. All right, so this is just a brown, so when I do the brown on this, I can do that, but first I'm going to do a little bit of this reddish color. So I think I'll use, where's that one that's mixed? This one. This one's got a little bit of the vivid red orange and some burnt sienna, so it's a little bit of a mixture. It's kind of bricky looking. I'm just trying to change this very plain tone. So I'm going to pull it back because I don't want it all over myself. It will make your paper roll, but just deal with it. So I'm going to do a little bit of that. I always wipe off my nozzles. It helps. And then some of this brown. I'm just double checking, make sure I grab the right one. I don't care if it has splotches. I usually just leave them, because it looks better, honestly. And then we're going to grab a heat tool. You know, if you get like this runny stuff, you can just kind of dab it. But it'll flatten back out, guys. I know it looks like, oh, that's crazy. But it's because I didn't spray the other side. If I wanted to make it flat, all I have to do is spray the other side. Make sure I have water. Here, we'll just try to get it to flatten just a little bit more, because it's kind of easier to deal with. There. So it just means I have to dry it a little more, but that's okay. I'm just plugging this in. I forgot to plug it in. All right. So I've got this little heated tool by Ranger. You can use a blow dryer too, but a blow dryer will blow the paper around more, and it's kind of a pain. This doesn't have a lot of wind. It's mostly just heat. It does get hotter than a blow dryer though, so you do have to be a little more careful. You know, don't burn yourself. Cardstock and anything like this will dry faster if it's not laying flat, especially if the surface underneath it's wet. So if you can, hold it up. Just watch your fingers. If you're worried about your fingers, grab one of those little hot hands tools. I do have one, but I don't really feel like I need it. So just give it a dry. This is just going to seal that color in there so that we can put another layer of color. dry, dry. It takes a minute. It just needs to be dry enough that it's not trying to get to lay down just a little bit better. And don't worry if it gets all warpy or wrinkled. Now, sometimes these overheat. The way I fix that, if it happens and it gets too hot, is I take my blow dryer, and it's got the cool setting, and I just blow it in here with it unplugged. I blow it in here, just let it kind of cool off a little bit, and that seems to help if it gets too hot. If you're using it for a really long time, they will get too hot. All right, so I'm going to add just a little more. Let's see, which side am I doing? I got to remember which side it is because I didn't mark it or anything. Let's do some brown. Where did I put that brown? Oh, there it is. Do a little more brown. So I want it just a little bit darker than this. I like a nice darker brick color. That's pretty good, I think. All right, so we'll do that, and then I'm going to put some of this on here. I don't think this is coated, because it's very plain, kind of. So I'm just trying to give it some variation. All right, we'll do that. I'll splash it on there a little bit. I'm getting my fingers all wet. I need a paper towel. Let me grab one. If I can get them off now that my hands are all wet. I usually try to keep a couple pulled off the roll to work with, you know. It makes life easier if you do that. That way you don't have to go trying to tear it. You know what I mean? All right, so we're going to dry that. So let's get this. I just want to wipe that off a little bit. I wipe it off because it does kind of keep it from clogging as easily. And we're going to dry some more. This is probably all I'll do. I think it's enough. Like I said, I've pretty much already made them anyway. Well, this isn't laying flat right now. It's got a little bump, so I don't have to hold it because it's already got air circulation underneath it. Like I said, you want to make sure it has a little bit of air circulation underneath it because it just dries better. And it doesn't have to be completely bone dry, but dry enough. You don't want it wet. Almost dry is fine. You definitely don't want wet spots. There, almost done. Yeah, that feels pretty good. All right. So I'll set that aside. Always unplug your heat tool when you're not using it, guys, because you never know when something's going to happen. Somebody bumps it, turns it on, your cat bumps it. Always unplug them. All right. So I think that's colored enough. They just have a little more color to them. It's not a lot, but it's enough. All right. This one, normally I would have colored it before I embossed it because sometimes getting it wet will take away your embossing. If it does, you can run it through again, but it didn't. I think I'm okay. But I can show you how if you want me to. All right, so let's move that box. I can take these off now. I get my gloves at Home Depot in the tool section. They're cheaper there than buying them other places. At least that's what I've found. Probably the same at like Lowe's or something. But all right, so then you take your embossing folder that's got like the label on the front, so you can tell what's supposed to be the top. I don't know if you can see it. Can you read that? Kind of, sort of. It's very dark. So put it on that way. And I just try to put mine straight. There's a little spot here that doesn't have any design. Do you see that little flat area right there? So if you put it all the way up, you will have a little flat area that doesn't have the embossing. So I usually try to go below that and just make sure that's somewhat straight. Okay, and then I don't put anything on the underside of it because it makes it too thick for me. So I just put it straight, and then I put the magic mat over the top, and then run it through. And it still feels a little loose, but I can't put even that one more little piece that's really thin. I can't even turn the handle if I put that down. So this is what I just do, and hopefully it'll work out fine. And I just went forward and back, and that's plenty embossed. Okay, can y'all see? Okay, so that's good. And then I'll do this one again just because it might have softened it up a little bit. So when you want to do it again, all you got to do is find where it was. So you can look at the design and usually figure it out. And then you just kind of move it around with it flat, and it will lock. Once you hit that spot, it just locks in there. And if you've ever embossed, you know what I mean. And then you just kind of hold it in place and close it down. Try not to let it open. And I'm just going to run it through one time just to kind of make sure it's still got a good emboss to it. All right. Get this out of the way. I think we're done with it. Okay, so there. Now it's a tiny bit off. It makes you dizzy. It is a little bit off. It must have moved. All right, but that's okay. Like I said, this one's mostly for showing y'all anyway. All right, but that's how you do it. Usually it'll lock right in there and it won't move. I haven't had that issue before, but of course it's going to do it when I'm live. So like I said, these two are not, this one's color fast. This one's not color fast. So I definitely don't want to use this one. I want to put it somewhere where I don't accidentally use it. I'm going to stick it over there. Then you want to just color in your lines. Now, some people use crayon. The problem is if I use crayon, again, not water, color fast. So I don't want to use crayon. I'm just going to move this. But it does work. And the way it works is you just put the crayon on the whole thing and then you just rub it in with your finger. And then you can kind of just wipe it off the top a little bit. But I've been using a paintbrush because I saw Tim talking about one of the girls that does that. Don't ask me who it was. I don't remember. I want to say it was Tina, but I'm not 100% sure. So whoever he was talking about colors in their grout lines just with a brush. So I'm going to do that. It's not that tedious. And it does work very well to get the grout lines colored. If you don't want to do that, I've seen some people have good luck with putting like ink or a roller of paint. By roller, I mean the little, what do you call those? Let me see if I can show you mine. I don't know if I have it handy. Yeah, this thing. I've seen it demoed where you can use a wet acrylic paint and you roll it on here and then you roll it on here and then you real quickly line it up again, whichever one it is. You real quickly line it up and you close down and you run it through, and that puts these lines in the grout. It's not ideal. You can do it that way. It can be done. It just takes like 3 times doing it. And for me, it's just as tedious as just hand painting it. So I did not have luck with using archival ink, especially on these. It didn't show up at all. So all I'm saying is there are different ways of doing it, and you have to kind of find, because I'm going to be doing some paint. So I'm just going to do a wash, because a wash works really well. I could just use, I do have a black one of these. I could just use the ink. It will work fine. Or I can use just regular acrylic paint watered down. Either will work. honestly, there's not a lot of difference because this is the same brand. Well, no, it's not. But this is the same type. It's still acrylic paint. It's just a liquid version of acrylic paint. I'm going to use my black because I already have it. So I'm going to use this carbon black because it's almost already the right consistency. And you only need a little. And I'm going to put just a tiny, tiny bit of brown in it. Just like a touch. We're just going to touch it. It probably won't change the color much, but it might. So. And then I'm going to use a brush. And just some sort of a thin brush. I've got this one. This is Essential Stenciler. Their little set of liners they had. They work real well. You can use, you know, a fancier one like these. Just some sort of liner brush works best. And I'm just going to use this one. And then I'm just going to spritz it with just a little bit of water. And I'm just going to mix it on there. So you just want a light coating of it. You don't want it super dark, so water it down. And then you literally just run the brush along the holes. You do not have to be a good painter. Don't worry about it. If it gets on outside the line, it just adds to the effect. And it won't dry as dark as it goes down as long as you've watered it down enough. You know, don't use this solid spot. You know, throw some water on there. Just pull it over into the water to give you a little thinner mixture. You don't want it too dark, but it'll lighten up when it dries. So just go through your lines. It's not that hard because the lines are already there. It's already got grooves, and all you have to do is, you know, stay somewhat in them. Like I said, if it goes outside, it's just going to add to the effect of it. Don't stress about it. I saw Tim's like, well, she told me to do this, but I don't have a steady hand. And I'm like, you don't really need that much of a steady hand because it's not really a perfectionist technique, in my opinion. I do have a steady hand for the most part, unless my blood sugar is low. But you don't have to. I mean, you can be kind of haphazard when you're doing this. If it gets on an area you don't want it on and you really hate it, just dab it off. You know, a paper towel real quick will probably take it off. If it spatters somewhere, don't worry about it. It adds to the effect. I just don't think it's a big deal. And I think it's an easy enough technique that it gives a good brick look without having to run it through my folder, you know, 20 times trying to get some paint in there. And you just, you know, it's already like traceable. If that makes sense, it's traceable. There's holes already. But I'll show you a second the difference in the color as it dries. So when I'm first putting this down, okay, when I'm first putting it down, see how dark it is? But look up here. See how it lightens back up as it dries? So don't freak out. Now, I'm not saying you can't get it too dark. You can if you have way too much concentration of color there. But as long as you've watered it down, you shouldn't get it too dark. And if you get it too dark, you know what? You throw some more red on. But I think this works pretty good. I'm trying to just see where I've missed. But I don't know how long that took, but, you know, it didn't take that long. Like I said, don't worry if you go out of line. Especially if you're doing like grungy brick, it so doesn't matter. My tummy's gurgling. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten yet. I'm so bad about that. Because I get up really late because I stay up all night. And I'm like running around usually getting ready for the live or, you know, just crafting in general. And I forget to eat. And then live starts, and then I'm like, oh, now I can't eat till after my live, which is like 11 o'clock my time. So, very late. Granted, I don't go to bed till like 6 a.m., so it's not a big deal. All right, so there. And see how it's got that like dark area in there? That's fine. It just adds to the look. I think it makes a nice brick. And if you want any lightness or anything, you can take a little bit of paint on your hands and run over it just real light. It's not necessary, I don't think, but you can. But you do the same thing on this one. So this, I'm not going to do this whole one because we don't need it. But this one's a little more maybe tricky just because you got to go around shapes instead of lines. But same thing, you don't have to worry about it too much. Just squiggle some around the line. I didn't get this brown quite as dark as I wanted, I don't think. I may throw a layer of color on it before I use it later. But I just wanted to kind of show you. So I'm going to do a little section here. I like the dark grout. Some people like white grout. If you want to do white grout, do white grout. I like the dark, personally. Okay? So, something like that. And then, like I said, let's see. I have water here somewhere. Where is it? Oh, I don't have water here. Okay, hold on. I'll get my water. I don't need much. I just need to be able to clean my brush. At least rinse it. And it's water-based, so it'll rinse out easy, okay? And then, like I said, which one of these was I maybe going to use? They're pretty much the same. I'm not using this one today, but I'll just show you on it, just so you know. If you want to add a little bit of lightness to it, you could use gesso or paint. You really can't use the inks to do it. You could use crayon, but you're going to have to fix it to be color fast. So let's see. If we use this, maybe this camel. I'm trying to do it with colors I have next to me. We'll try this camel. I think I can do it on this plate. That'll dry out in like maybe 5 minutes. All right, so like a wedge or your finger. Am I froze? No, okay. A wedge works pretty good, but you just want a little bit on there, not too much. And then you just want to kind of keep it flat and very, very lightly just go over the edge. Like, you don't want it to color in the holes. So you can do it in steps. Do a little bit, see how it looks, and if you need more, do more. But I'm going to show you what this kind of does. So don't push too much, because if you push too much, it does too much. Like right there, I pushed too much. But can you see the little bit of texture it gives? So you can do like a light texture on top and with different colors even to give it a little more interest if you want. I don't think I did on my, well, I did. Actually, I did. Let me see. What did I do? I didn't write it down, so I don't think I did anyway. Maybe I did. Let me see. Did I write it down? Oh, I did. Coffee latte, camel, vintage white. Okay, so I put quite a few colors in there. So I've got, that actually is Pueblo. I recognize it. So I've got Pueblo in here, camel, and it says coffee latte and vintage white. So I have a lot of colors in there. So we'll go ahead and do this one a little bit so you can kind of see what I mean. But it's pretty much what I just showed you. So that's coffee latte. But just, it's hard to get a tiny, tiny bit because I really don't want much. Where's the Pueblo? There it is. Pueblo. I like the Pueblo because it's just, you know, that little bit of orange. I'm only trying to get a little in here. We'll just start with the lighter color. Usually I would go the other way, but I don't want to dirty up a bunch of sponges. So, and I just want to kind of show you. So same thing. I let the wedge stay as flat as it can, because otherwise it'll go inside and it'll mess it all up. So don't push hard. Barely, barely, barely touch. I know that doesn't have lines, but you can do the lines last. You don't have to do the lines first. You can do them whenever you want. Does not matter at all. So there's some of that. I think this is coffee latte. All right, and then let's see. What was the other color? Oh, vintage white. Let's grab some of that because that's very light. You can mix them. You know, use what you have, honestly. I might have to get one more sponge because that orange is going to mix with this too much. Normally I would have more place to wipe this off, but the white is strong, so don't go crazy. I'm barely touching, and I do mean barely, like so light, like feather touch. Okay, this one's got a little bit of a double thing going on. I'm just going to dump that one in water. I've got more. Guys, I haven't stenciled in a while. Pulled out my wedges in forever. So a little bit of this Pueblo. And you just play with the color until you get it to look the way you want it to. Like I said, this is my test. So, well, this is my example. What's that looking like? Is that close or is this lighter? This is lighter, isn't it? A little lighter, not much. All right, we'll get some of this Pueblo in there. I don't want to spend too much time doing this. Oh, I shouldn't have thrown that in water because now I need it. All right, throw that one in water. I've got like 20 of these. It just means I have to wash them. Do a little more white. Sometimes the white will look really, really bright, and if it looks too bright, you can always tone it down with a little bit of a darker color over it. But don't go, you know, too much, or you'll just be going back and forth over and over. We don't want to do that. All right, that's pretty close. Let's see. It's close. It's not perfect, but it's close. It gives you the idea. So that's how I did it. And play with it till you get the color you like. Back and forth. The wedges work real well. I get those from Target. And the brick, where's the one I was going to do? This one? I'm trying to see which one I just colored. I can't tell. I think it was this one. Honestly, don't know. They look identical. So the brick, I don't usually put white on the brick. I'm going to use one of these. I don't need both of them. But you can. If you've got brick, a lot of times it does have a little bit of a lighter color. So I would say, let's see, we're going to try a little bit of vintage white. I haven't tried this yet. We'll try this. I'm not going to put it on super heavy. So dab it off pretty good. Just trying to coat the whole thing. I'm just going to put a little on here so you can kind of see what I mean. I'm just trying to catch the edges a little. But it looks cool. If you're looking for this look, I think it does look cool. Because it picks up all those little bumps and ridges. Right? So not much, just a little. And you get that kind of a... I can't tell if the camera's showing it very well. But that kind of a look. And you can play with it and do more or less. I might as well do the whole thing. I don't know. I'll save it in case I need that spot. But that gives you an idea. That will probably lighten up a little bit once it dries. Or darken up really. probably darken. All right. You could even put some of that orange color in there that I had earlier. All right, so there's that. So that's how I made the cobblestone and the brick. Not too bad. I don't think it's super tedious, honestly, guys. I think it's easy enough. So is put the transfer on. I want to put the wallpaper on. So I'll show you the wallpaper colors I think I'm going to go with. I'm going to put these inks up so I don't spill them or something. They're pretty sealed. I don't think I will, but let me just set them over here, out of my way. This brown, this orange. Where did I put this? Everything's on the floor. Okay. Sorry. Laying it down. Okay, so we've got our boxes. Oh, by the way, before I forget, you know how I saved some of the snow paste? You can't save the snow paste. It does not save. It got, even though I wet it and I sealed it really tight, it did not really work. When I took the lid off, it was mostly hard in there. And so I tried stirring it up and thinning it back out. But all I was getting was this crumbly, weird mixture of snow, which might be handy for clumps of snow somewhere. So I kept it, but it wouldn't really re-liquefy the same consistency that it was before. So I would suggest making only the amount you need, at least trying to, because if you have to make more, it's really not going to keep. And that was only, what, a couple of days, so it didn't keep. All right, so transfers and wallpaper. Which do I want to do first? I think I want to do the wallpaper first because I'm a little worried I'll scratch the transfers. Just moving them around. So these are the transfers I think I'm going to go with. It's from that set, and I don't know how or which ones exactly, but I'm trying to find the set. Oh, there it is. It's on the floor. This set from Essential Stencil, this is not in stock. Whether or not they'll bring it back, I don't know. But that's where I got it, in case you have it or something. And what I'm going to do, so I've got my boxes. This is the bottom. This one is this side, and this one is this side. Okay, I marked them because I only had one corner that actually met. The other corners, let me see if I can show you. It's hard to show you. But there's a hole. If I look at it from this angle, there's actually a gap between there. And I can't really show you when it's not standing. But trust me, there's a gap. So that's why I did it and marked it. Otherwise, you don't have to mark it if it's all the same. But these are never the same. They're Dollar Tree stuff. Okay, so this is my background. It's just a snowy blue sky. I wasn't sure exactly what to use. So it's going to be, I'm trying to think how this looks. It's going to be like this. Okay, so it's going to have this angle to it. So you want them to kind of sort of blend together. So I was thinking, this one has like a hill, which I kind of like. You know, because maybe it's a little more in the distance. Anything that the transfer doesn't cover, guys, I'm just going to paint to match. You know, if you're not a painter, maybe that's not for you. I don't know. I'm just going to paint it to match. The only thing that might look a little odd using the transfers instead of painting, I could have just painted these, honestly. But I had the transfers, like, let's just use them. But the shininess might look a little different than anything I paint around it. I'm going to try to keep it similar, and then I'm going to put like a varnish over it to try to blend it all in, and hopefully it will work enough. But I'm thinking if I do that, I kind of wanted to use this little this elk or moose, whatever he is. I think he's an elk, because he was about the same size as the deer I have. Let's see if I can grab my deer. Where is my? Oh, he's on a stick. I already put him on a stick. I put them on a stick and I primed them because I'm gonna be painting them like this. But I primed them with the spray model primer is what I used. Only color I had was gray, so I just used gray. And then I put a white coat of just acrylic paint and I painted them. So this is what I'm gonna do one with y'all, but this is what he's gonna look like. Can you even see? I can't tell if the lighting is. Let me show if there's something white behind it. But he's gonna look like that. I think he's kind of cute. So I'll show you how to do it with this one. But he's already on a stick, so because I hot glued them on here so I can pop them off later. But I think the size is compatible. You know, it's in the right perspective. That makes sense. So I think it'll look okay if I use this guy. I just wasn't 100% sure how I wanted to do it. If I want them on the outside. The fox is on here too, which is fine. Can I get them both on a box? Yes, I can get them both, but I'd lose part of the tree. Now that's not to say I could not continue that tree over here. I could. But that's the only thing I might run into, is not having it quite match up. So do I just cut it and continue the tree over? Maybe. And if so, do I use this one? Because that means the hill is in the wrong direction. Or do I bring it over here, have that tree just fall off the edge, have the hill be, I'm trying to get it to where the ground level is similar, and have that tree be about there. And I'll move it over so I can get the whole thing. So maybe that way. That way I've got that tree, it just falls off the edge, which I think is fine. This tree will be right on the edge for the most part. Maybe I'll do it like that. If I don't do that and I don't use the hill, then I use this one. But these are really big. They're even bigger than this one. So I don't know that they're not too big. I feel like they might be too big. They're okay. I would have to put them right at the tip, and then this one I'd lose a little bit. What do you think? Should I do the hill? And should I do the bigger trees? They don't quite fit the box as well. So I don't know if I should cut out that one tree if I do that. If I do it there and cut out that one tree, I could do that and then have just a painted whatever there, sky or something, and then do this. Anybody think? Y'all care? I don't know which is better. It's probably 1/2 dozen the other. This is a little further in the distance. This is obviously a little closer. You know, maybe it's an issue having the elk who's obviously closer and these trees further in the distance, but maybe these trees are just smaller. I don't know. Maybe I should use the bigger ones. And I don't know what I'm going to have in front either, because I'm going to put trees and things in front on the base. I'm leaning toward the bigger one. As much as I love this little hill, I think size-wise, it might be smarter to do this one. All right, I'm gonna do this one. I've talked myself into it, so I'll save that for something else. So we'll use these trees, and then I'll just paint around to blend in. I think I want him in the middle. I debated on having them off to the side, but that tree bugs me that I would lose. I don't want to lose them in the middle, you know? So I think this will probably be better. Now I can just cut this one out. All right, let's do that. So that's the plan for the back. But like I said, I don't want to scratch it up. And I'm going to be dealing with the wallpaper and anything else. Of course, I'm going to be doing this through the whole thing, and I do have to put them on ahead of time anyway, because I need to set it up. But I might can just put some soft down so I don't scratch them, I guess. So for wallpaper, let's do that because we're running out of time. I'm talking too much. I picked out a few colors. I think I know which ones I want. So these are backdrops, Tim Holtz backdrops. So I found this one. This is for the carpet. I think I'm going to use that for like a carpet. And then I think I like this one. I'll show you with the items. I like the polka dots, but I'm not 100% sure. All right, let's grab the items so I can kind of show you the colors. All right, so picture this inside the box. And let's say picture this inside the box. Okay. So this scene, I went ahead and cut the little doggy out because I wanted to try to save him. So what I did is imagine it flat. So I glued a piece of cardboard on the back, just some cardstock. And then I took an X-Acto knife and I went around him very tediously. And then I folded him up so that he can be in here in a more three-dimensional way. And then I'm going to blend this little section in with the floor. I'm keeping this green because I like it. So this will be like this. So what do you think about that color? I don't know where I'd want that. Maybe something like this. I'm trying to see where that little line hits. Or if I want it sideways. I think I want it long ways. I don't guess it matters where it hits. Maybe I want it a little bit on each side of the fireplace. I don't know how I'm going to blend it. No idea. I'll figure it out. I'm going to cut as close around as I can, and then I'm going to blend the wallpaper. Whatever one I use, I'm going to try to blend it in. I kind of like that, but I also kind of like this polka dots because of this green. Can y'all see that? All right, here. Because it's already got green there. I just don't know if it's too polka dotty, you know. Is it too much? How will it look? And then Santa's going to be in here somewhere, you know. He'll be turned a little bit, but we'll put him flat for right now. So that'll be in there. So that's kind of the color scheme. And then a tree with lights. I don't know which size. I'll pull up the two sizes that I will probably use. It's one of these sizes. So either I will do a little tree over here, which will show more wallpaper, or I will do a bigger tree. I'm leaning toward the bigger tree. Like this, which will have lights and everything like that. So do you like polka dots or this one? They both look good in their own way. Okay. Sorry, it says trying to reconnect. Okay. This one I like because these little stockings are all of these colors. They blend in really well with the color scheme. Santa looks a little out of place, but not terrible. I think we can make it work. And then the tree's going to have little ornaments on it that are multicolored and stuff, so, and lights. What do you think? This one or polka dot? I don't know if you guys are going to say anything. If you don't, I'll make the decision. I think I'm leaning toward this one. It's just a little more vintagey, and this scene is a little, even though it's got a very modern fireplace on here, it's still a little more vintagey just because that's the Santa I have. The other one, I like this because I think for this scene, I've got this dining room and this chair. This I think I'm going to put on the other one. I cut one of the kitty cats down. Are they both in here? Let me see, where's the other kitty cat? These are from Hobby Lobby. Let's see, where did you put them? I'm trying to grab it so I can show you what I did. I don't know. It's in here somewhere. I got these at Hobby Lobby in their mini tree section. But it looked like that to start with. Okay. And I needed it to be smaller. So I just popped it out and cut the frame down and moved it over to make it smaller. So we're going to use that on one of the sidewalls, I think, for that one. So that was where that came from. But you can get these at Hobby Lobby. I assume they still have them. They may not. I've got them several years in a row. So sometimes I only use them for the frames because I like the frames. So this one, I like this. I think that color looks really well with this set from Stamperia. There's a tree. So I think it'll work real well with those colors. And then I wanted this for the carpet because this one doesn't have any kind of a floor color. And I think this floor color kind of coming off. I'm just going to use this little section. I think it'll make a good carpet color because it kind of is textured almost like a carpet or something. So I think that'll work well for the bottom. So that's why I have that. So that's the plan. So now we gotta just fit them all in there and put them together. Too much talking, guys. All right, so I gotta make sure I'm the right way. Let me think about this. This has an arrow going out. I put my arrows going out so I don't get confused. So it goes this way. So this side is Vintage Santa, we'll call it, and this side is Pastel Christmas. I don't know. So we're gonna make them fit. All right, so I don't really need these. I still don't know where exactly I'm gonna put this. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it more to the left, more to the right, have room for the picture here, have room for the picture on the side. I think I want the picture on the side, but we'll see how much Santa hides it before I decide that. But that's the ideal there. Okay. Let's cut this out before I talk too much and we don't get anything done. Let me put my little deers up. I'm going to paint these later, not today. I'll do probably a whole day of painting with y'all because it's going to be a little tedious. Okay. So let's make this fit. I guess we'll just put them in the middle because I don't know. Might as well. So I'm going to try to cut this out exact. I don't think I want to fold around the edge, although I could. Fold around the edge. I could probably score it and fold around the edge. Assuming it's square. And that is a big assumption. So if I want to do that, I just need to get the depth first. So let's get the depth. If I can find something to mark this with. I just pencil. Where's my pencil hiding? There it is. All right, so we'll just do the depth. And hopefully it's the same all the way along, because sometimes it's not. I'm going to get close. If something doesn't blend or whatever, it'll be hidden somehow. I'm trying to look for my cutter. All right, so I'm going to cut that length. Hopefully I get it correct. It's a long cut. You got to watch your little line on these. Let's see if it'll fit. Will it fit? It's a little bit bumping there, so it's probably not perfectly square. So we'll just take a tiny bit more off. Not too much. Maybe that. All right. Keep that in case I need it. So I think I'm going to try to score it. So I'm going to try to score it so that this is, well, since I want these little edges, do I have one that will work? Will that work? No, it's not going to be far enough. So this is just going to hit where it hits. Because in order to get this on the sides, I can't really do that. So we're just going to, you know, we'll put that one in the middle. That'll be fine. And we'll kind of line this up with the edge. Let's try that. All right, so I'm going to score it and hope it works. I'm going to score it here. And here. We'll see if we can get it in there. Oh, am I on the bottom? Let me do that again because I'm not on the bottom. And it's, guys, I don't even see it. Did you flip it? What? Leave it to me to put a pencil mark on there. You can't even see. Where did it go? I don't know where it is. Okay, let's do it again. Anyway, I turned it so that my bottom is where it's supposed to be. Because I turned it. Of course I turned it. I'll try to get this. Oh, okay. So that one's in the right spot. Good. This one is a little bit off. So yeah, they're not 100% the same. They never are. Just put that down just a fraction so I can see it. Is this the easiest way to do it? I don't know. Maybe you can measure it. I find I don't do well measuring. So we're not measuring. All right, let me find my score line. I'm hoping it. Oh my God. Why can't I see it? Oh, there it is. I see it. Okay. I'm just going to put it on my 12 because I know where that is. And it looks straight. Kind of, sort of. Hopefully. We'll score that one. I'm just going to fold this one and see how that goes in there. Not too bad. All right. Let's score this one. Hopefully it's in the right spot. I don't know if I should make it bigger or smaller because we want it to touch. If it doesn't touch, you can't glue it. So I'll make it a little bit bigger or farther apart. Just in case I want it tight so I can glue it. Let's see if this works. All right, it's a little too tight, so we'll have to play with it. All right, so this side's good. It's nice and in there. So what I'm going to do is just squish this in because it has to fit exact or you can't glue it. Oh my goodness, stomach. All right, I think that'll be okay. It's bumping up, but that's just because it's not attached. All right, so that'll be good, and then I'll trim the edge after. I could try trimming it now, but you know I'd never get it right. So we'll glue that in. I think it looks okay. I'll just double check. I think it's going to lay flat. I can't tell. I feel like I need to move this in just the tiniest bit. We'll move it in just a little bit. Because it's bumping too much. And then hopefully I can get it to fold on that spot. We'll work it in there when we glue it. Where's my bottom? All right, let's go ahead and get some glue on there. Now, what glue do I want to use? If I use art glitter, I have no time to move it. I think I will use, should I use matte medium? No, it probably won't be thick enough. I don't know, will it be thick enough? I'm going to use a matte medium, I think. The nice thing about the matte medium is it's matte, and I know it won't show too much on the wallpaper if it gets outside of it. So I think I'll use the matte medium. I'm just gonna, let me see, I don't know if I've shook that in a while. All right, get the little thingy off. All right, we're just gonna throw some in here. Make sure I'm on the right direction. Probably won't take that much. I'm just gonna use a brush. Hopefully this works. Honestly, I don't remember what I usually use when I'm gluing these down. It's going to be this wood is super absorbent, so who knows if that's going to be enough. As long as it sticks for the most part. Pressure should hold it in there some. I don't know what I'm going to do for the ceiling, guys. I haven't thought that far ahead. But I want this nice and wet because, you know, it's going to soak into this wood like crazy. Try to get all the way up to your edge. All right. Bottom's on the bottom. Stick this side in first. And I'm going to squish it in there. And then, what do I have? I'm trying to find a tool, guys. A flat tool. I probably should push it. Actually, it's just not square. That's fine. All right, we're just gonna leave it. I'm gonna try to get this squish into this corner without pulling it out of that corner. Should work. I could have done this in pieces, but you know, I kind of like the idea of not having to repair that center hole, you know, that little line there, because usually I'll just throw some paint in there or something. Is that sticking? I think it's sticking. Okay. Yeah, it feels like it's sticking. If there's any places it didn't stick, I'll throw some extra glue in there. I think it's good. Feels pretty flush. Just make sure you squish everything down good. Working it into your little corner. And I know my camera's not the best angle, but it's what I have, guys. Hopefully it's okay. All right, I think I got it. It looks pretty good. There's a little spot right there. Let's throw some glue back there. I'm just gonna I think this is good, but you know what? I've got a lot of glue on here, so I'm just gonna run it along there. I'm just trying to make sure it's down really well, so when it dries, I should be able to just trim it and not have to worry about gluing more. And I'm just going to let this one dry for a minute while we work on the other one. I don't know what I'm going to do in the front here. Probably nothing. I'm probably just going to cut it right off the edge because I'm going to put that green piece there. So I won't need it. And then the base on this one is going to be the, I need a plate. The fireplace thing, my scene. I got a lot, all my glue was up in the top. I just want to put a little on this edge. Like I said, this should disappear when it dries. So I'm just sticking a little in there. Just really want to make sure it's down so we don't have any bumps. Alright, let's let that dry. This should stay wet. Okay, next one, here's the bottom. There's the bottom. This one is, what did I say? The floral. We'll just do it the same way. So let's find our size. That works pretty good. I think it's easier than trying to measure it because you know it's not gonna, it's never square. It just isn't. We'll try there. Let's cut that. Where do I put things? See how tight this one is. And try to score it. Where's the box? Oh, I set it on the floor. Right, bottom. So we'll just go about halfway. Hopefully it fits in there. I haven't tested it yet, but I'm going to go ahead and mark for scoring if I can keep it straight. Ideally, you need it straight so it, you know, you mark it in the right spot. So I think right there. And I think right here. Let's try that. Ooh, that was horrible. Horrible noise. Sorry. For those who are sensitive to those noises. I hope the score works. I'm half tempted to I'm gonna try something real quick. Let's see. I want to make sure that my size is okay first. It's a little snug on the bottom, but I think it's okay. Yeah. And then this side, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to push. I don't know if I can or not. We'll see. I'm going to try. So I kind of want to at least get it marked. Oh, see, it's too tight. Oh, no, there. I thought it was too tight, but it's not. It just was crooked. I'll try to see if I can get it this way. So I don't want to have to resize it. Did I get it? That's pretty close. This is still a little warpy because it's too long on this side. This side fits. I'm going to try to trim it just a little bit to where we can take off teeny bit over here. One side will probably show wood, but there's no way to get around that and have it fit. This side is obviously shaped slightly different. I'm going to see if this works. I'm just going to go ahead and firm that up. Let's see if it works. Pretty good. I think so. I think we're good. All right, let's get our glue in there. I don't really need the plate, but I'm just throwing a bunch of glue in there. It's anywhere the glue gets that it isn't supposed to be, it'll just dry clear. It's not a big deal. And I'd rather have too much than not enough. So I can always, I didn't need glue there, did I? No. Okay. Let's do this. It's fine. I'll wipe it off. That's the bottom right. Okay. Squish. Squish. I need a paper towel. There's one. Yeah, a lot of ooze. I'm just gonna wipe some off. Okay. Now it glues all over my hands. Don't break it. Putting a lot of pressure. All right, stick. Stick. I think the sides are the trickiest to get to stick, but not impossible. Just got to make sure you get it all lined up and down there. Just gonna throw extra. Actually have some reared wood there. It's like separated right there. Just keep pushing on it until it acts like it's actually staying, because sometimes it takes a second to hold with the matte medium. Whereas the art glitter's, you know, more instant, but the matte medium just gives you more time to play with it. Whereas art glitter, when it's down, it's down. Clean off the glue lip there. Okay. Sticking. I think we're sticking. It needs to be dry before you try to cut it, though, because if it's not dry and you try to cut it, you're going to rip it. Trust me. You'll definitely rip it. Glue out the edge there. I think we're good. I think it's down. I'm just going to give it one push from that angle. Push from this angle. And let that dry. Let's go back to the other one, see if it's dry. Glue off. Okay, I need to clean some of this glue off my hands, guys. I have so much glue on my hands. I'm going to be peeling it off all day. It's already starting to roll off. All right, let's see, is that all the gluing I need right this second? No, we're going to do the floor still, I think. So I'm going to leave that wet for now. I was going to clean my brush, but I don't want to clean it just yet. All right, what time is it? 10:30, okay. Let's see, does this look dry? My edge is still a little bit wet, so what else can I do in the meantime? Could I cut my floor out? That's the top, that's the bottom. So this one has the fireplace, so I can't really do that one just yet. I could go ahead and paint the bottom of the fireplace scene. Maybe I'll do that. So I want these to dry good before I try to trim them, otherwise I'm going to mess it all up. There's the bottom, that's the bottom. This one gets the green. I can do this one. I think I can trim it. Ooh, can I? I'm going to try to make it exact. I think I can make it exact to get it in there. All right, so it doesn't really matter which side. Either way, I'm pretty much losing this, so yeah. Could I save this side for the bells? Well, I guess. Does it really matter? Probably not. I guess I will. All right, so depth-wise, first I'm going to try to get the width. So I think I'm just trying to lay it up there and mark it. And I'm just going to cut it to about here and then I'll trim it. Where is my trimmer? Okay. So let's just cut this piece off. I'm just going to go bigger than I need. It's not much. It's like maybe 2 inches, honestly. And then we're going to trim this. I'm going to go a fraction bigger than I think it is, just in case I messed it up. Alright, bottom is that side. So will it fit in there yet? Not quite, so a little bit more. I think about that much. Okay, that's pretty close. We could just blend in whatever we have to. And then I'm just going to flip it over. I don't know if I can show this. And I'm going to draw a line. So I'm just try to hold it flush. I'm doing it this way so I don't have to wait for it to dry. Mostly. Alright, and I'm just going to cut this off. Let's cut glue on there and get the glue off. Alright, so I'm going to line that side up and this side up because it's probably not straight. The chance of it being straight is so slim. Okay. And then I got to try to remember which way that was because it'll only fit one way. Whichever way it was. Should be that side, I think. Nope. Let's turn it. Is it this side? It's closer, but it's still a little off, but that's okay. It's enough that I can get away with it, I think. It looks like I need another, but I could always try sanding it later once it's dry, or trimming it. I just didn't want this to be in the way of trimming this. That's why I cut it down, because otherwise it would be in the way and I wouldn't be able to trim them both. You know, I'm going to try to cut off a little bit. I'm going to draw an arrow that goes back and try to trim off that little bit. It's not much. It's like a 1/16 of an inch. And because a 1/16 is going to be really hard on that cutter, I'm going to use a ruler. Not that ruler. I thought I had it in hand. This ruler. I'm just going to try to trim off just a 1/16 of an inch. Okay. All right. Arrow goes back. fits in there much nicer. Let's throw some glue in there. I guess we'll just put a little petal down. I'm trying to show y'all. It's a hard angle to do when you're doing these vignettes. No matter, honestly, no matter which way your camera is, you kind of need two angles, and I don't have that capability, so I apologize if it's not the best. All right, arrow goes that way. Squish it in there. Glue on my fingers. And I'm just going to use this. Squish it down. Make sure I have it as good as I can. And wipe off some of this excess glue. A little bit of excess there. All right, we'll let that dry. I think that'll be pretty. I hope it's showing. It's so delayed, guys. I can't tell what I'm showing you half the time. I have to wait 30 seconds to see what I'm showing you. All right, so we'll let that dry. It's got a little bowl there, but I think by the time we put other stuff, it'll hide. It's because there probably wasn't wet glue right that spot, so I got a bit of an air bubble. You can't see it, but I can see it. But like I said, by the time I put the stuff in front of it, it's probably not going to matter. As long as it's sticking, that's all that matters. This one got any bubbles? Nope, that one's good. Just this one. Probably didn't have enough glue or too much. Sometimes that's the case. All right, put that there, put that there. All right, so I think I'm done with this for right now. So I'm going to take this glue out. So I'm just going to squish it out away from the ferrule, and then I'm going to wash it off in my water, which is very orange. I usually have 2 or 3 waters, but I only have one. It's okay. It is what it is. As long as I can get some of that washed out so it doesn't dry in there while we're doing our live. All right. Okay. Next. So, let me think. Okay. So for this little scene, this one's tricky. So I cut a little piece, which hopefully will fit. Let's just see. Let me turn it the other way because it's not square. Is it better that way? Yep, it's better that way. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little arrow so I know which way it has to go. All right. So this is my little piece. It's similar color. It's not the exact color. It's a similar color. It's gonna go here, and I'm gonna paint it to match this. Okay. So I have to figure out, before I can paint it to match this, I have to figure out where I'm putting it. And I can still do that with this drying. So I was thinking, I don't have to keep this. I just kept it for the time being. I kept it for the floor, honestly. But if I put it kind of there, and let me grab what goes with this Santa. Where's Santa? Where'd you go, Santa? Do y'all see him? He's in here, I think. I don't know. Maybe he's not. Is he over here somewhere? Where'd you put Santa? I lost him. I don't know where he is. Oh my gosh. Oh, there he is. I found him. Santa. Okay, so I must just say I'm going with the bigger tree. I think the bigger tree will be better. Do you all think? Hey, Dawn, I'm glad you got to join us. All right, so I think Santa, I think I'm going to put him a little bit sideways, like that. So if I put them there, here, do I have anything on the bottom I can grab my light tack tape that's not too sticky. I'll try to stick them on here somewhat so I can kind of see where he goes. All right, so if I put him here, approximately, here, I'll put it on the back in case it messes up. This has just got to hold him for a second. All right, so put him there. And then the tree is the bigger one. This is my bigger one. Now, I'm not sure what base I'm going to have on here, but if it becomes an issue, I can cut this wire and make it taller or shorter. But the tree's going to go here. So does this look like a good place for the fireplace? That's what I need to figure out. So if I put the tree here, that's not working either. So let's throw some stuff on them. I'll just have to be careful of peeling it off of that magazine. This base, I probably just stuck it in this base after I colored it, and it doesn't really go in there. Let's see if I can get it to stay enough. Just stay enough temporarily. Alright, put this here. Has to be about there. I don't want to go too close to the back. Hold on. Santa's falling. I want to go far enough away from the front that I can put the green piece on, because I can't have it sticking out, and I'm going to have lights on it and balls on it. So I think I'll look at it from this angle. Yeah, okay. I think I'm okay there. So tree's there, fireplace is there, Santa's there. That's probably about where that fireplace is going to have to go. That way I have a little room over here if I want to do, where'd that picture go? If I want to do this picture, I think I'm going to put it here. I think it'll fit there. But I don't want Santa to completely, Santa, what are you doing? I don't want Santa to completely cover it. Hold on. Santa's not being, he's not behaving. I don't know why. He just wants to be a pain today. We're just going to try to stick this to the wall without peeling our wallpaper. Right, so I think if I put it about there, and I put this about here, can I still see the kitty cat? I might have to raise the kitty cat a little bit. I can see him if I put Santa there. It just doesn't look right away. I don't want it all the way to the top. And I'll probably have a ledge here for the lights, because if you don't put a ledge, and by a ledge I just mean some sort of overhang. If you don't put some sort of overhang, then your lights are glaring in your face if you have lights in there. And I don't want that. So I have to keep that in mind, that you won't see the top edge super easy. So I can't go too high on that, because that would present a problem. But I think I can see it enough, or I just don't use it, honestly. But I kind of want to use it, so, but I think that's okay. We'll go with that. All right, so let's peel this off before it sticks on here permanently. The longer that blue tape sits on something, the more likely it is it's going to mess it up. All right, so that tells me this needs to be all the way to this side if I keep this, which I think I'm just going to keep it. It's probably going to be hidden, but if it's not a big deal. So with that in mind, it has to go on my green piece. I'm not going to have time to do this, guys, but we'll start it. On my green piece all the way over. So right there. So I'm just going to draw a line real light, showing, I guess squish it all the way back. Hold on. Squish all the way back. Here. All right, doggy, you're in my way. There. I just want to mark it a little bit. I'll probably erase it after I glue it, but so I'm marking that. That should be enough. Is this dry yet? I'm hoping this is dry and I can cut it before we finish. So this is going to get attached to this. I'm just going to go ahead and glue it on here. Like that. So I've got my little line to follow. So I can see exactly where it needs to be. Okay, and I'll glue that there. And then what I'm going to do is just paint these stripes in. They're not going to be perfect, guys. It'll be good enough. All right, so what kind of glue do I want to use? I think I'm going to use our glitter. No, I'm going to use... Oh. No, I won't have enough movement time. I'll use Fabri-Tac. I think it'll just give me the most moving time, because who knows what's going to happen when I try to lay this on here. I hope the little doggy works. It seemed logical. I'm trying to get glue everywhere. So I'm matching up my little line and then flush to the back on the other side. It should be close enough. That'll work. All right, so what's going to happen? Which one's this? Yeah, it's that one. Where's the top? Bottom. Okay. So that's going to be like that. Okay. But see how the doggy looks? I think he's going to work. Oh, if I can get the lighting to cooperate. See how he stands up? All I did was just cut out the top half of him. Put a little cardstock there to hold him up. And now he looks like, you know, a standing element. I thought it was cute. I saw that cut out in the magazine, you know, I was like, you know what? Let's just go for it. All right, so I'm not going to glue this in just yet because I want to paint all this and it'll just be easier outside the box. But let's go ahead and see if we can trim this. I think it might be ready. And we'll paint this next time. Well, maybe next time, but we'll paint it at some point. And I've just got a couple of greens I think will work to do this with. Possibly some pencil. I don't know. I'm going to do my best to match it. I will do my best. All right, so let's see if we can trim this. I'm thinking about how I want to do this. I don't know how I can do this. Might have to use scissors, as I can't lay it to cut it, and I can't cut it from this angle. I don't know how I did this before. I probably used scissors and just sanded off the extra. Probably, maybe. I don't know if I can get it flush enough. Let's see. We're gonna try to use scissors. I'm trying to make sure they're flush, because I can sand off anything that's not quite perfect or trim it after, because I know I'm never going to get it perfect probably. Yeah, that works. That's good enough. All right, let's see. One of the angles was better than the other. I think this angle was better, honestly. So I'm just kind of trying to keep them flush. Is it this angle or is it the other angle? Maybe it's the other angle. It's whichever one makes the scissor lay flat on it. Okay, so we'll fine tune that with the X-Acto knife. And let's go ahead and cut this one. Just making sure my blade is actually on there. I can't see both sides, so. spots on there. Okay, let's just give me a start. I should keep these pieces. I don't know what I'll use them for, but I might use them for something. Alright, so what I'll do is find my knife, which is probably not sharp enough. Let's see. I just want to make sure it's glue. I think it's glued. Trying not to cut the wood. It's a little bit wet right there. It doesn't like to cut when it's wet, so I should sharpen this blade. Alright, that's not too bad. Pretty flush. Okay, so all I'm doing is laying it down. Here, I'll try to show you guys up close, kind of, sort of. I can't cut it up like this, but I'll show you what I'm doing. So I've got that little lip there, okay? So I'm just laying the blade flat. Sure. Hold on. Camera, come back. Okay. Without too much pressure, so I don't go into the wood. Now, if it feels like it's not, you might have to find a sharper spot. A new blade, of course, is always better anytime you're doing this kind of thing. But you don't want to dig into your wood, so don't push hard. Let it just do its thing. That's pretty good. Alright, so fairly flush, and I can always sand it to get it fine-tuned, but I'm not sanding it today. I'm going to let it dry real well. I might, anywhere it feels like it's gapping, I'll throw some art glitter. Let's do this one. So the scissors got most of it. It left about a 1/16 of an inch, which is fine. And then this is getting that little bit that's left. Pretty close, so. Oh, that's why. It's not glued there very well. Really? I'll try this angle. I don't know what happened. I missed a spot. I'll have to come in and glue it because it's not going to cut. Alright, I can't cut yet. Alright, this one has some gluing to do. If it's not glued, see, it's loose. The rest of it's not too bad, but just right here. It wouldn't lay. Oh, I don't want this. I want art glitter. I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of art glitter in there. If it's coming out. Yeah, there it goes. I'm just going to run it the whole way. And then once that dries completely, I'll cut it again. Just make sure it's holding. Sticky fingers. Don't touch your wallpaper with sticky fingers or you'll peel it right off. So keep something close where you can kind of wipe your hands if you need to. I'll let that dry thoroughly before I try to sand it or glue or cut it or anything, because if it's not dry, it just doesn't work, guys. There's a little spot right here. You can see it after you cut it, if it's still there. It's right there. Mike can cut it. It feels attached, it just didn't cut it. It's trying to fold down on me. We'll go to this angle. I might have to use sandpaper. Yeah. It doesn't like that spot. I don't know why. Why? Why don't you like that spot? Who knows? Alright. But as long as it's attached, feels attached, then you can come in with, trying to see if I have some sandpaper here. You know, I have my little sanding tools. I don't really need those, but I do have them. I have these little needle file set. I need to buy the ones that's actually the metal and not the diamond grit, but this is what I have. But you can use like these and just go like that. Go away. Don't go toward, or it'll pull it. Got little bits that were stuck. Okay, so let's see if I can show you. Try to see if there's a place that's somewhat uneven. Here's one. Is it glued on there? Oh, that's wet. Let's try this one. Try and find a spot. There's one. Okay, so here's a spot that's got just a tiny little lip on it. So you take your little diamond grit and you just sand it. And it should, basically it'll take it down right to the edge of the wood. Okay, it might take you doing a few passes. And if you don't have that, sandpaper on one of these or an emery board. I just don't have an emery board handy right now. A lot of times I just use an emery board, guys. But if you don't have an emery board, you can use something like this. This is a little too high grit, but same thing. Okay, it'll give you a much cleaner edge. Okay, that's it. We are done with time, and I'm gonna let that dry. I'll finish off the edges. I'll just do it off camera, and we'll come back on Wednesday. Where's my needle? Where are you? Let me put Santa back up before I lose them. Put my tree back up, put my picture back up, because I'm going to lose them. Put this away. Put this backward. Oh, there it was. I covered it, didn't I? Alright, put that back in there. I think we're good. Alright, so we got our little boxes. We didn't do as much as I wanted to do, honestly. But it's okay. So we got our boxes covered on one side. I didn't get to the transfers. I'll try to do them next time, I guess. So they're going to be cute, I think. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the ceiling. I might just paint it. It's probably not going to show. I don't want to leave it bare, so I may throw a coat of paint on it. But like I said, it'll probably have a ledge and lights up in there. So, I say probably, but I'm definitely putting lights up in there. So I'm definitely going to have some sort of an edge. So it's probably not going to show any, unless somebody looks at it like this, So I'm like, not stressing about that. So that's how it's going to look. This is how this is going to look. Like, this doesn't fit perfectly, so I will put candy canes or something on the sides. But you get the idea what it's going to look like, kind of. I think that'll be cute. What do y'all think? Cute? I think the colors work. It's cute. Alright, so that's it for today. I will be back, like I said, on Wednesday, and we'll work some more on this. We'll probably do the transfers on the back, finish the floor, put the fireplace in, I think. Yeah, put the fireplace in, and whatever else. I don't know. Maybe trees or something. I don't know. Whatever I get to. I meant to put the cobblestone on the base, but I ran out of time. So it didn't happen. At least I showed you how to make it. So we're there. So maybe we'll do that next time. Alright guys, because I got so much to do. It's a lot. It'll take me a little while. So this is going to go, this cobblestone is going to be cut out and fit. I'm going to cut it and fit it. I don't know how. Somehow. Fit it in there. So it'll be a little pretty and all that. So if we get to it, we'll put the bricks on the side of the vignette. They go here. Okay, on each side. Well, yeah, we'll put it in the middle too because it's got an angle. So bricks and the cobblestone, hopefully we'll get to that next time. At least I showed you how to make it. Sorry. I'm trying not to get these mixed up because I have non-finished and finished. Definitely don't want my non-varnished and varnished to go mixing up. Alright guys, that's it. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening. I'm going to go eat me some food. And I will see you guys. Which way does this go? This way. We'll see you guys next time. Alright, take care. Bye-bye.